Hi everyone, today I want to talk about I am vegan and pro-choice part 2. I've decided to do a second part because I have more to say. I will leave the link below to the first part, and in this video I will be focusing more on the abortion aspect of it, just so you know. And before I begin, I want to make it clear that I support abstinence and contraception, so in no way am I advocating for people to have unprotected sex or for abortion to be a form of birth control. I am vegan and pro-choice because I believe they are the most ethical and responsible positions to take. I also want to say that I know there are different types of anti-choicers, so whatever I say, if the shoe doesn't fit, don't put it on. So let's begin. Many people have told me that I am not a vegan, that I cannot be vegan or call myself a vegan because I am in favor of abortion, that it's a contradiction, and that I'm a hypocrite. I had no idea that being vegan also included sticking my nose in other people's business while actively trying to control their reproductive system. People assume that because I am vegan, I have to be in favor of life and against death, but they assume wrong. The definition of veganism is, it is a way of living that seeks to exclude, as far as is possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. A vegan is a person who does not eat or use animal products. Nowhere in this description does it say that vegans must also be against abortion or against death or killing in every situation. Nowhere does it say that. People say, well, you can't be vegan because you're against killing innocent beings and be pro-choice because abortion means killing innocent beings. These people made up their own definition of veganism. And speaking of innocent beings, I will leave a link below of my video called A Fetus is Not Innocent in case you want to check it out. I believe that it is equally immoral to take a life that I don't have the right to take as it is to save a life that I don't have the right to save, like with euthanasia or abortion. Even though veganism and abortion are two different subjects, I personally see many similarities between being vegan and pro-choice. Veganism is about animal rights and abortion is about women's rights. In my response video to a vegan anti-choicer, I talk about the subjective rights of the fetus, so I'll leave the link below in case you want to check it out. I believe that nobody has an absolute right to life, not even a fetus, and that in some cases, death or killing is acceptable, preferable, and or necessary, like with self-defense, euthanasia, or abortion. And I also believe that these three are rights and not crimes. I am not vegan because I am trying to save lives. I am vegan because I don't want to cause unnecessary pain and suffering. I want the breeding of animals to stop, and I want the animals that are already here to be left alone. I am vegan because in most situations I don't have the right to harm animals because they are not violating my rights or hurting me, so I am not justified in killing them. I am in favor of abortion because nobody has the right to use the body of another person against the will of the one who is being used, not a rapist, not a fetus. Also, every person has the right to remove from their body whatever they consider to be threatening or harmful, be it a tumor or a fetus. And no one can be forced to risk their life for another. So a woman is justified in removing a fetus from her body at any point. Also, if I defend an animal that is being harmed, I am not violating anyone else's rights by doing so. I am not committing a crime against anyone. If I wanted to defend a fetus, I would be violating the woman's rights, freedom, privacy, dignity, and sovereignty, because that fetus is inside a person. And I cannot get to the fetus without first harming the woman. I would be committing a crime against her. And I don't have the right nor the intention to do that because she comes first. I recently learned that some animals can cause themselves to have an abortion. So let's say that a cow, by eating some weeds, was able to kill the fetus and expel it from her body, and that I knew this and saw her about to eat these weeds one day. I would not try to stop her because she owns her body and only she knows what is best for her, not me. If I intervened in my attempt to show compassion for the fetus, I would actually be showing my great disrespect for her. So regardless of how it made me feel, my opinion or my feelings would not give me the right to violate her freedom. Thinking that I know best is arrogant and ignorant, because when it comes to someone else's body, no, I don't know best, because I am not them and because I don't own them. Just like I don't have a say over a cow or anything inside her body, I also don't have a say over another woman or anything inside her body. When it comes to veganism and abortion, I don't understand why people equate the treatment of animals with the treatment of fetuses, and how they cannot see that there is a difference between animals being bred into existence unnecessarily with the intention of being exploited, tortured, and killed in order to profit from them, be entertained by them, or eat them. And a woman ending a pregnancy because she sees it as a threat to her health or her well-being. These two are not equal. If women were getting pregnant with the intention of torturing and killing fetuses in order to make money or to eat them, causing the fetus unnecessary pain and suffering, then these two would be on equal ground. But they're not. Just because ending a life is the common factor in eating a steak and getting an abortion, that doesn't mean they are the same, because the first one is a crime and the second one is a right. To me, it's very simple. Every born person has rights over their body and everything in it at all time. And no person has the right to control the body of another person. So your rights begin at birth, not before. And if it's not your body or inside of it, then you have no say over it. It's not that women don't have the right to control their body. It's that anti-choicers have decided to take that right away from them by force and have conveniently given it to themselves in order to control them. And the worst part is that instead of these people feeling utterly ashamed of taking what doesn't belong to them, they feel extremely proud of it. I am vegan because it's my intention to respect the rights of animals. I finally understood that their lives and their bodies do not belong to me. I am in favor of abortion because it is my intention to respect the rights of women. I understand that their lives and their bodies also do not belong to me. That my will over their body is not greater than their will over their own body. And that in both cases I have no right to invade their privacy or to disrespect them in any way. Just like most carnists pay someone else to do their dirty work for them, when they demand animal products, they are in fact saying, I don't really care what you do to the animals, how bad you treat them, how much you abuse, hurt, or torture them, or to what level you degrade and disrespect them. because they're just animals. All I care about is the end result. I want my bacon and my cheese. So you do whatever you need to do to get the job done. Same goes for the anti-choicers. Most of them will not be the ones doing the dirty work, but they will vote for and support laws that will allow others to do it for them. So they are basically saying, I don't really care how you treat women or how much you disrespect or degrade them, how much you harass or humiliate them, because by law, they owe us an explanation of what goes on between their legs, because their reproductive system belongs to us. And I don't care if they're 8 years old or 85, nor do I care if they live or die, because they're just women. All I care about is the end result. I want fetuses being born. So you do whatever you need to do to get the job done. If you think you have the right to invade a woman's privacy, to violate her dignity, and to disrespect and degrade her in such a disgusting way, in the same way you are violating and hurting women now, in due time is the same way you will hurt, violate, and disrespect the fetuses that you are now supposedly trying to defend. And perhaps you might even apply the death penalty to them if they end up getting pregnant and disobey your rules. So let's be honest here. You are not in the business of saving lives. You are in the business of controlling or destroying them. And whether you are the one that is doing the dirty work, or you are paying or passing laws for someone else to do it for you, the abomination is the same. When I look at anti-choicers, I realize that the harm, the pain, the suffering, and the destruction they end up causing is so much greater than the supposed good they are trying to achieve. I am vegan because I am against causing unnecessary pain and suffering to animals, because I do not want to be the cause of their grief. I am in favor of abortion because I am against causing unnecessary pain and suffering to little girls that are treated as incubators and are legally denied the rights over their own body due to someone else's feelings or personal beliefs, or because many others are trying to satisfy the supposed mandates of their invisible sky daddy. I am also against causing unnecessary suffering to children that are going to be born to parents that don't love them or want them, that are going to abandon them or sell them, that are going to abuse them, or that don't have enough money to feed or support them. In these cases and many others, I believe it would be better for these beings not to be born. But this is obviously just my opinion. I am vegan because I am against the slavery and torture of animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. I am pro-choice because I am against treating women like slaves by forcing them to continue with an unwanted pregnancy, knowing that this is a form of physical, emotional, and psychological torture. And just like there is no such thing as humane slaughter, there is no such thing as humane forced birth. Many have said that being vegan means not taking what doesn't belong to you, or what hasn't been given to you freely. No animal has ever come to a human and said, "Hey, here's my milk, my eggs, my skin, my honey, my horns, my feathers, my wool, my flesh, my children, and my body for you to use them in whatever way you want." No animal has ever expressed that in their behavior. Everything we take from them is by force. In the same way, no woman has ever told an anti-choicer, "Hey, here's my body, my privacy, my dignity, my rights, and my freedom, so that you can violate them in whatever way you want." No woman has ever said that. Anyone that is trying to control her is doing it against her will. In neither of these cases do I have the intention of taking what doesn't belong to me. Just like some people don't care about the animals and they only care about what they produce, many people also don't seem to care about women and they only care about what they produce. I am vegan because I believe it is the most responsible thing to do. As a non-vegan, I was hurting animals, people, and the planet because of my ignorance. And my actions were having negative consequences on others and would also be affecting others in the future. My ignorance of the consequences of those actions did not mean harm wasn't being done in my name. I am in favor of abortion because it is the most responsible position to take. If a woman gets an abortion, she will have to live with the consequences of her actions, not me, and that is how it should be. If I force her to give birth, others will have to live with the negative consequences of my actions, and that is unacceptable to me. I hear many people say, "Women need to assume the consequences of their actions," meaning that if they get pregnant, they need to have the kid. But I wonder if these same people are equally concerned about the consequences of their actions, because being against legalized abortion also has consequences. I guess people think that because they believe they are doing something good, then the effects will also be good, but that is not the case. If I forced a woman to give birth because I am pro-life and against abortion, and I will defend every fetus at all costs, regardless of the consequences, denying a woman the right to abort might force her to have a back alley abortion where she can end up mutilated, imprisoned, or dead, causing great harm and pain to her and her family. She could also be fired from her job for being pregnant, or even end up homeless, or she might have to get a second or third job in order to support her family. If she is unable to support her children, or if she dies in labor, her children might end up in foster care or living with relatives where they might be mistreated or abused because there is no one there to protect them. These are just a few examples. Me being against abortion would have great and long-lasting negative effects on the lives of others, all because I was obsessed with saving the innocent. Even if I didn't care about the women, I would care too much about her children to rob them from their mother by putting her in prison, by removing them from her care, or by causing her death. I don't have the right nor the desire to do such a horrible thing. And even if I never found out about the harm I had caused, that wouldn't mean that I was not responsible for it. Perhaps many think that a woman ending a pregnancy is unjustified, but that all the problems, mayhem, grief, and even deaths they cause by being pro-life is justified, when it absolutely isn't. Perhaps the reason why I see many similarities between animal rights and women's rights is because for millennia, women have been seen like cattle. So it makes sense that we have been treated as such. Both have been seen like objects slaves, or property, like beings that need to be governed and controlled by others, like beings that do not own themselves and that it is others that have rights over them, and that if they don't submit, then their owners have the right to punish, torture, or even kill them. But the fact that this behavior is still legal, accepted, and even applauded, it does not mean that it is in any way moral. To conclude, I am vegan and pro-choice because it is my intention to respect the rights and dignity of women and animals, and I do not wish to impose my will on them or to hurt them. I am vegan and pro-choice because I am against causing unnecessary pain and suffering to women and animals because of my ignorance, stupidity, indoctrination, selfishness, or lack of compassion. I am vegan and pro-choice because I don't have the intention nor the right to control the lives and bodies of women and animals, or to take by force what has not been given to me freely, and that I know does not belong to me. Okay, everyone. Thank you for listening, and feel free to share this video, re-upload it to your channel, or use any parts of it. The same goes for any of my other videos. And I think that's it for today. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.